So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So we're finally getting Grand Voyage, and as I'm sure you know, the whole community is a bit disappointed to say the least that we're only getting one new mission. Like, five new ones, like, we were hoping that because we got five initially, but maybe we could have got a few less, but we got a lot less. We just got one. We'll see if it's temporary or if this is just how it will work. One new mission every 2 months, which will be disappointing, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy we get some hard content. Like before Grand Voyage, we hadn't got any real hard content since like Kid Forest. So anyway, the Grand Voyage is going to be in Syrup Village against Captain Kuro, and the rewards will be DEX related, which implies that this Grand Voyage will be DEX focused, and on the image you can see Usopp with Kuro, which makes thematic sense, and Usopp just got level limit break, so it's safe to assume that this Grand Voyage will be DEX shooter based around Legend Usopp. And we also got confirmation that the rewards we get here are added on to the total reward, so there's no reset, there's no rewards going away, it's just get added on like we expected. So yeah, in this video I thought we'd take a look at the DEX shooters we have and like think about what could be useful. So I've done some preparations here. First, we have some level limit break legends. Obviously we have the Usopp, but we also have the Ace, and they actually are a good combo. And I have a suspicion that this Grand Voyage is designed around using both of them, and you'll see why here. Anyway, Usopp, mine is lacking one copy. I have some wonder poses left, so I can max my Usopp. I'll probably do it. But basically, at max level, for his captain ability, he makes all type slots matching, and he can do a 4.75 times attack boost when he's below 30% HP. And also add a 1 turn to all enemies for each battle. And then in the special, he will do 4 turns boost, either attack or orb. So if you use double Usopp, you can get 4 turns attack and or boost. So basically, it's totally reasonable that we get another buggy style content where it's designed so that final stage you have to kill like in 3 or 4 turns even. And who knows what happens during those turns, that's just speculation. But yeah, that's one route they can go for sure. One issue with Usopp is getting low HP, and that's where the Ace comes in, since Ace with his special. And yeah, I managed to max my Ace, by the way. I will limit break expand him if needed. Basically, he does an HP cut by 30%. So let's say you're on Moby Dick ship and use Ace's special. You get below the 30% HP you need for Usopp pretty much. Another thing Ace does that will probably be important is the fact that he does the self-proc Ignite, which is the global name for burn. So that's even more damage you can add on to potential attack and or boost from Usopp. And it's also a 2-turn attack boost, so it will make sense if the final boss is at least meant to be killed over 2 turns. Maybe they have like a damage limiter, for example, who knows. Can also do a revive, like buggy, stuff like that. So yeah, that could be a potential pair. Sabo doesn't have level limit break, but he might be important, and like it can be either the 6+ or 6-star Sabo, like with the 6+. You can also apply burn, but not the burn conditional. But it's one of the few ways to add some kind of chain buff. Like the chain buffs we have is basically 6+ Sabo for chain boost, 6-star Sabo for chain lock, and then we have Yamato Ace as well that can do chain boundary and such. But yeah, might be possible that this is used. We'll see. moving on, we have some limited legends, and I think this will drive people crazy. Uh, we have 5 of them. We also have the Sabo and Ace here, which can't fit in this picture because we have Yamato Ace as well. And all of these 5 legends are limited, like Sabo and Ace is a Kisna legend, so is Capone Crew, so is Sanjay Pudding, Kizaru is a PvP legend, and Yamato Ace is a Super Sugo legend. And I will be shocked if not at least 2 of these are basically required. Like either Kizaru or Capone Crew is like a no-brainer to me. They are basically the only way to remove special bind, so I'd expect some special bind at some point. Yeah, like Subways as well, of course. That's another option for removing special bind. So some form of special bind will probably be present and require the usage of a limited legend. Sunny Pudding also has very good utility. Like there's not a lot of units who can remove defensive effects for shooter and DEX. And they also add color affinity, but not for shooters. So that kind of makes me feel like Sunny and Pudding won't be part of this, since their special doesn't boost shooter. And only Pudding is a shooter, like none other form is a shooter. So that's a doubtful. Yamato and Ace is interesting. Like it's possible that Bandai doesn't really design this content around Yamato and Ace, which could open up some cheese possibilities, because if you don't know, there's an exploit where you can stall for the super switch without wasting turns. So if Bandai don't intend you to be able to use the super switch, you will still be able to do so. And that could completely break the content. So that's something we need to keep an eye out for. Otherwise, like an issue with Yamato and Ace can be that maybe the V1 Ace is better for the self-damage for Usopp and such. But otherwise, they are pretty similar. Like Yamato and Ace is purely better since you get the chain boundary for 2 turns as well with the super swap, and you get the burn through full immunity. But I'm pretty sure that burn will be allowed in this content, so not really needed. So yeah, pretty similar to V1 Ace, but better in the way that they give you chain boundary as well, but worse in that they don't do self-damage, which might be needed for the Usopp. And yeah, that's the limited legends. Just touch on Sabo and Ace. Like, I kind of doubt they'll require them for yet another Grand Voyage, but it's possible. But they are one of the few units that can remove a lot of bind and despair. There's like the trash map, Luffy and Ace as well. But I really doubt they make you use that unit when there's so many other Ace units. Otherwise, like Frankie, General Frankie is very interesting, since like they are literally the only way to remove attack down for shooters. So like Bandai could troll and add attack down, so you have to use them as captain, but I seriously doubt it. Otherwise, just a very good special in general with all the buffs they can give. So might be like for Morgan, for example, it was clearly not designed for General Frankie, but it was still possible to make a really good team with General Frankie that could beat Morgan. It's one of the few teams that can beat the Grand Voyage Morgan level 5, the team that 6+ did. So I'd keep my eye out for them, but I'm pretty sure that the content is not designed for General Frankie. And if you wonder why you can use General Frankie, Chopper is a shooter. And finally, Magellan, who is like the only way to do poisons, might be nice to bypass resilience potentially. Like if they decide to do 99 turn resilience on one stage, you're pretty much forced to use the Magellan. That's just how it is. Now some useful other units. I can see all of them being required to use depending on what Bandai wants. Apu is very interesting. When I saw Apu, I was thinking, because Apu can do an attack extension. You need to do some healing, which might make this not feasible. But one cool thing they can do is require you to use Usopp Special Stage 3 and then use Apu to extend it, and then you keep it for final stage. Something like that. I don't think so, but otherwise, he still got some pretty good utility. Remove 5 turns of bind, one of the few bind removers. as well as removing Rainbow Shield. So if they can just decide to do that combo, and you're forced to use Apu. Wapol is also interesting. He's literally the only accessible paralysis remover. And he also does some damage reduction and ore boost, so I can see Bandai requiring you to use Wapol will be interesting. There's also an old treasure map where you recruit Unluckies that remove paralysis. They are literally the only two usable units that do it. Gotti, no, Vito is his name. He also does some death up and damage reduction removal and damage reduction. So, yeah, could definitely see some use if Bandai choose to do it. This guy is pretty interesting. The Tanaka, with limited expansion, he has double special. So basically you can remove 6 turns of death up with him. So that could be something, or they do death up 2 different stages and force you to limit break expand him. He also has the Tesoro support, which is really good, adds a 3-time chain lock, and as said, there's not a lot of chain buffs for this content. One of them, though, is the Stussy. She both removes damage reduction and damage threshold and gives a chain boost. So that's a very unique combo. So yet another unit that Bandai very well can decide to design the content around. Finally, I just put in some niche options which I don't think will be used, like the Momo and Shinobu removes resilience, can give ore boost for 3 different stages. I doubt you'll need them, like maybe as a potential Usopp replacement, but I think Bandai will design around Usopp mainly. The Orochi, pretty nice. He changes block orbs, which is pretty good. Usopp handles basically everything except block orbs with his captain ability. And Orochi also does a color affinity boost, which not many of the other units do. So that's definitely something that might make Orochi good. Like, remember in Grand Voyage, you get CD set to maxed if you fulfill the conditions. So Orochi, despite having 24 CD, will be very much usable. So that will be pretty cool. Kid, another way to get through resilience and reducing CD if needed. He doesn't resist CD rewind though, which sucks. We have a very weird unit here in Indigo. And if you have low HP, you get a full heal and completely remove poison and do damage reduction. I don't think this will be used since you want low HP for Usopp, but he's definitely a unique DEX shooter. And finally, Frankie, who can do some attack buffs for 2 turns and also remove barrier. But since this is a shooter team, like most units will have barrier pens, I doubt they'll want you to remove barrier. But yeah, that's just my thoughts for Grand Voyage. I think that they will build this around double Usopp captain with Ace as a sub, but I also think there will be other teams. Especially Yamato Ace should be able to open up some possibilities, I'm sure. That lets more people beat this. And I'm pretty sure that Capone Crew, Kizaru, or Subways will be required. Wouldn't surprise me if you need like both Kizaru and Capone Crew. Might be possible to be like that. But yeah, we'll see on Monday, my time at least. Just to end is off. Like, I'm fairly certain that it will be deck shooter, but we have no official confirmation, so I've not spent my keys yet, but I am fully planning to do so. I have 6 keys, so Usopp can get a key, Ace can get a key, and I also have the level limit break. I do have 2 posters here, so I can max up Usopp, so I'll be good for this Grand Voyage, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.